Hey ya, welcome to Zville Lessons for Live channel. My name is Xander Villain, and this is lesson number 4 in our beginner series. What we're going to do today is cover lessons 1, 2, and 3 pretty quickly, and when we talk about lesson number 3, which was dealing with bar chords up and down the neck, we're going to get a little bit more extensive with that, working with all the different keys up and down the neck based on an open tuning of your guitar. Mostly on the 6th and the 5th string, but a little on the 4th today too, which is a little bit more complicated for beginners to play because of the positioning of your fingers. We're also going to get into a little bit more complicated picking patterns and also taking those bar chords and expanding them into full chords on your neck. So let's get right into this. All right, welcome to lesson number 4 in our beginner series. We're going to cover what we did in lessons 1, 2, and 3 pretty quickly here, and then we'll get into what we're going to do in this lesson. To start with, we got lesson number 1, we had you learning the names of the strings and the keys of the strings in an open regular tuning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 going upwards. On the way, then you go down for your keys. It's E, A, D, G, B, E. That's what you're tuned to. Those are the notes or the keys that you're tuned to. Then I had you counting frets. 6th string. Open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We were stopping at 12 because that's where the scale starts over. That's your E, right? Your scale ends at the 11th fret, right? Then I had you working the same thing, working up and down the strings, but with the notes involved too. So it was like open E, 1st fret F, 2nd fret on the 6th string, F sharp, 3rd fret G, 4th fret G sharp, 5th fret A, and so on. We also learned that sharps and flats are the same thing. This is a G sharp, and it's also an A flat. A flat, G sharp. It depends on which way you're working up and down the neck. Then in lesson number 3, and then also we were working on picking patterns. If you remember, we were going to be doing single notes, downstrokes or upstrokes, or up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. You know what I'm saying? Then we got into bar chords. So hopefully you've watched lesson number 3 and you've already done your bar chord lesson. If not, basically a bar chord is an open A, and then you're going to bar it. You're only working with 3 strings or 3 notes. 2 of the notes are the same note. It's the root note. So you got A. On an A bar chord, you've got A, E on your 4th string, open 5th. 2nd fret of your 4th is your E. 2nd fret of your 3rd is another A. Same with E. E, open 6. 5th fret, 2nd fret is a B. 2nd fret of your 4th string is your E again. So it's E, B, E. When you get off of the open positions, you use your index finger to anchor the bar chord, and you use your ring and your pinky finger to establish the other 2 notes. So you got a G, you've got a D, and you've got another G. So that was 3rd fret, 6th string, 5th fret, 5th string, 5th fret, 4th string with your pinky. That's your bar chord. If you go down to the 5th string by just dropping it, you got the same thing. You got a C, C, G, C. 2 of the same notes and a corresponding note that works in the key. That's a bar chord. That's on your 3rd fret of your 5th string, 5th fret of your 4th string, 5th fret of your 3rd string. Now you can just move those up and down. And you can play all kinds of songs. One of the lessons that we just had come out is for Hit Me With Your Best Shot, which is bar chords. That was your open A. Then back to your B. See that? That's how bar chords work. Then we got into power chords. I think in that song they do pretty much all bar chords. There's other songs with power chords that just use power chords. And that is just removing your pinky out of and just going to 2 strings only. So for the G, instead of having that second octave of G involved, G, D, G, you just got the G and the D. 6th and 5th string, and then go down to the C, 5th and the 4th string. Move up 2 frets to the 5th fret, and now you've got your D. 5th string, 5th fret, 4th string, 7th fret. And that's a D and an A together, because remember, here's your... There's a lesson on harmonics, and then there's a lesson on octaves on our channel that give you a much better understanding of how to find different octaves of the same note quickly on the fretboard. One of the ways is through a full bar chord. You know that this is your root note of D on the 5th fret of the 5th string. Well, if you go down 2 strings and up 2 frets, go up 2 frets, that's also going to be a D, and that's what you're using in your bar chord. So, hopefully you've been working on that, moving it around up and down the fretboard. Now, to get into full chords, not just a bar chord, in the exact same position. What we're going to do is we're going to take an A chord on your 5th fret of your 6th string, just like we were just doing. Now that's the same as this. If you remember in lesson 3, I showed you how to do it in an open position, where it's open on the 5th, 2nd on the 4th and the 3rd. Well, now it's 5th fret of your 6th string, and now you get into that, right? So A, E, A. Now, to get the full chord, you're gonna put one more finger down, but what you're doing is you're barring the entire fretboard, all 6 strings, with your index finger. That's your full A chord. You can also do that. You can do that. And then you can lift it and get a minor. What you're doing is you're adding your middle finger to the 6th fret of your 3rd string. Right there. So you got 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. Now, if you can't get it barred the whole way, don't worry too much about it when you're doing a full chord, because 3 of the strings are being taken up by these other 3 fingers. So what you want to do is make sure you get your root note, and then you get your 1st and 2nd string on your 5th fret. One of the cheats you can do at the beginning, but don't get in the habit of this, is you can, instead of grabbing it with the tip of your finger like this, like that, lay your finger a little bit more up and across. So you're kind of grabbing the string with this part of the finger. Let me see if I can show you. Down here. And that way the fatty part of this knuckle right there is grabbing the bottom 2 strings. See if I move it up, the knuckle right here, this knuckle, the gap that's underneath that, the spacing, isn't right on those 2 strings. It's this fatty part that's on those 2 strings. So you just bring it up just a little extra, and it makes it easier. As you get better, move it back down, because you want your hand in a position down here a little bit more. It doesn't have to be way down, it doesn't have to be way up, but to start with, if you want to cheat a little bit and do that, you will get good at it. It's just going to take time. It takes a lot of time, and you just got to keep trying. So once again, that's a full A chord. Now, you're hitting all 6 strings. If you want to do an A minor, which is in a lot of songs, just lift that ring finger off. There's an A minor. There's a G. So now you got your index finger covering the G note of your 6th string. That establishes it. So then you got G, then 5th fret, 5th string, 4th fret, 5th string, making your D and your G. And then you go to the 4th fret of your 3rd string with your middle again. And then you got to make sure to do the 3rd fret with your 1 and 2. With that fatty part of your finger like I was just showing you. There's your full G chord. G, A, B, C, moving up the neck. You can do this also on the A string, but it's a little different. Now, instead of doing this, that's your minor. This is your major on the 6th string. This is your minor. On the 5th string, the bar chord chords, you would just lay your finger down across. And then to get the minor, you do that. And I think that's a 7th or a sus2 maybe. But the reason you're doing that is the B string is the one that's off. If you've watched our tuning video or harmonic video, you'll see that when you're going down, it's A, D, D, G, G, and then to get your B, you got to shift down 1 note. Because of that, instead of doing this, you got to do this. So to get a D, now remember, you're not involving your 6th string now. This is all 5th string. So here's your bar chord on the 5th string that we were talking about. Let's do the D, because it's in a nice position here. It's 5th fret of your 5th string for your anchor note, your root note, D, with your index finger. Then you go up to the 7th fret for your A and your other D. Now, if you want to do the full chord, you just do this instead and add the B string, which is your 2nd string, on the 7th fret. That is your full chord. Go to the same position you had here for your full A chord on the 5th string. What you're doing is you're going back to that bar chord, and then you're putting your middle finger on the 2nd string, 6th fret. And then adding that A note in on the top end. That's a minor. Here's your major. Major on the 6th string, major on your 5th string. Major for the A, major for the D. So hopefully that made sense to you. If not, rewatch this part again and again, because it's a pretty important thing to know. Not just your bar chords. Remember the power chords we were talking about? Just the two notes, 3 notes. Full chord. Minor. Minor here is lifting it off. So check all those out. And because certain songs are minor and major, and you won't just be playing root notes forever. So just start working on that for your 4th lesson. In the next lesson, we'll get into these chords that most people learn at the beginning. Half the time they don't know why they're doing them and how they work together. This is why I'm showing you this first. This is what you should be learning first, is bar chords, power chords, full chords, minor and major, 2nd string, minor and major like I just showed you. Those are hard to do. Keep working on these. Up and down the chord. And then if you can get this in there and lock it, move it down, move it back up, move it back down, and then go to the next string. Go down, go up, go down. You know what I'm saying? just get it locked in and then move it. Don't worry about like changing strings as much as just getting the position on the 6th string and moving it up and down the neck. Then getting your position on the 5th string and moving it up and down the neck. Once you get that, you can start switching between strings. 6th string, 5th string, 6th string, 5th string. Oops. Up and down the neck. One of the other things I wanted to get into on this lesson was just starting to get your mind wrapped around this. In lesson number 2 and a little in lesson number 3, we were talking about the keys on the in particular string. So we're going to use the 6th string this time, and we're going to go E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, and D. We're going to stop at D for a reason. I'll get into that in just a second. But remember, we didn't have a sharp or a flat between E and F or B and C. Just kind of a reminder. But we're going to stop at D. And the reason I'm showing you this is if you checked out our tuning video or our harmonics video, you'll see octaves. Like I was just talking about with those bar chords. A, E, A. You've got 2 A's. That means you got 2 octaves of A in the one chord. Well, we also talked about this. Here's E. This is your 2nd octave E. Remember? 12th fret. That's where your scale starts over. Well, let's just take the E here. That's 3 octaves. E, E, and E, right? Because there's your bar chord. Just like you would have down here. Just 1 octave up. If you've got a 2nd octave of E here, you've got your 2nd octave of E here. And here. So then you got to start thinking, okay, if the notes go this way, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, and D. Well, if this is D and this open string is D, you don't have to climb up the string to get all those same notes. This is A. Remember? G, G sharp, A. That's A. This is D. This is D. Well, you can do this. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. See that? Instead of going up the string for all those notes, you use the other strings to keep climbing the scale. So that's what I wanted to show you. You've been working on this. If you've been doing your lessons, you've been working on this. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, right? That's what you've been working on. Then G sharp and then back to A again. Well, you could do this. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. There's your full scale. It's 2 octaves. And that's part of your bar chord. Remember, your open one was this. So now you start seeing that you are working on E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G, right? G sharp, A sharp, B, C. But B is where you stop that time because the shift of the string, like I talked about, it's B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Go watch the tuning video, you'll get this more. Those are all the same notes. A, D, D, G, G, B, B, E, E. That's a way to tune a guitar without a tuner. So that's what I want you to work on next. Not just on the open strings. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Right? There's your scale. Try it here. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Bar chord. G. Bar chord. G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Bar chord. Take that all over this neck. Do it really slowly. Okay, there's a, what is that? That's a C sharp. So you'd climb up. See that? I want you to work on that all the way up and down the neck. Not just working on your bar chords and your full chords, but working on that positioning. Just work on that, because learning that you don't just have to climb the one string to get all the notes. You can climb from string to string to string to string. That's going to get you into what you do for lead playing. Work on those two, because those all have to do with bar chords and full chords. Right? So full chords, bar chords, power chords, and climbing that up. This is going to take multiple lessons to get this together. But what I'm going to do in lesson 5 is start introducing basic open chords as well. Okay? So go ahead and do that. Hey, so that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this lesson. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. That'll help our channel grow. To check out one of the other lessons, go ahead and click this link over here. Check out our channel, see all of our videos. Go ahead and click this link over here. We've got some cool playlists. We cover a lot of different things, including full song videos, things about the guitar, things about playing on stage and stuff like that. So check it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.